Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Football Stooges. This is going to be our Super Bowl preview show coming at you live just before the Super Bowl starts. We're excited for it. It's going to be a great game against two teams that have trialed and battled all season to get to the spot where they're at now. We got the Chiefs and we have Eagles coming in ready to go, ready to show what they're going to do on the field, what they're going to be able to do against each other. It's the Kelsey Bowl, it's the Super Bowl, and we can't wait to start to get into the coverage. Without further ado, let's introduce some of the other members of the Football Stooges tonight. We got the one and only Downer of Yingling, destroyer of worlds, and master of Philadelphia sports, the one and only Mastodon.
Flyers fucking won. God damn right they better.
Righty. And down goes the Yingling as usual. Mamba's out today. Hopefully he'll be back next week, but this is a great week for it to happen. For hopefully only a week, a cameraless new member of the Stooges, the one and only Gorlami. How we doing, buddy?
Oh, just, drinking whiskey to drown out the pain of whether or not we're going to have Rodgers next year.
For those of you that couldn't tell by the harsh Wisconsin accent and the amount of booze being drank, the resident Gorlami is the resident Packers fan. So it'll be fun to see him and Mamba in the same room come next season, or even the off season.
Oh, I got nothing against Bears fans. So it's more so the Viking fans I get problems with.
Oh yeah, I mean,
really?
But they still have to pull the fork out of their fucking throats after that choke. That was bad. That was bad against the Giants.
That was horrible.
That was real bad.
What can we say? We didn't make the playoffs.
I mean, you guys almost did, but you couldn't beat the Lions, which is kind of interesting.
Dan Campbell's Lions, who were basically said, if we can't go, they can't go. They weren't letting us win that game.
No, they weren't.
Right, indeed.
No, I have a lot of respect for Campbell. I think he's actually going to turn that program around.
Ooh, okay. I just saw Coach of the Year update.
Yes. So
yep,
we are currently recording this right now in Thursday, late at night, and while we are recording, the NFL awards are going on. So we'll cover that real quick because the Pro Bowl was interesting. We'll give our thoughts about how it was and what's going on with the Pro Bowl and how it's looking at in the future. It was weird. It was kind of cool. It was kind of weird. It had some cool moments, some weird moments. We'll talk about those. But let's start out and we'll just go ahead and say what we've seen so far for NFL nominations and give our thoughts about them. To start out, Coach of the Year was just announced. The nominees were Kyle Shanahan of the Niners, Doug Peterson of the Jaguars, Sean McDermott of the Bills, which was an interesting one for me, Nick Sirianni of the Eagles, and Brian Daboll of the Giants, Brian Daboll being the winner. Your 2022-2023 Coach of the Year is Brian New York motherfucking bald-headed Daboll, which I absolutely love. I love that.
Nick made it big in New York.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind it. It was either, for me personally, it was either Daboll or Peterson.
Yeah, that's really the way to look at it.
I mean, yeah, I could see Sirianni sliding there because of record, but at the same time, yeah, Peterson and Daboll definitely took teams that weren't supposed to be good into places where they are good, which I think is the recipe to getting yourself Coach of the Year.
Yeah. If the Eagles had a worse record last year, then maybe Sirianni, but they went to the playoffs last year with a winning record, so it's like,
right. There wasn't much improvement. It went from good to great, which is different from horrible to pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, Giants were pretty good. Knocked off the Vikings, so that's still something even the Vikings choked. Defensive player, there were three finalists. Nick Bosa, defensive end for the Niners, won it. He was running up against Micah Parsons, outside linebacker for the Cowboys, and Chris Jones, defensive lineman for the Chiefs. Nick Bosa was awesome this year. I don't think anybody was as close. I think if DJ Reader wouldn't have gotten injured, he would have been a finalist. Wouldn't have won it, but would have been a finalist. But at the same time, well-deserved for Bosa. What do we think, gents?
Bosa or Parsons, I would either one for me.
I would have taken Bosa. He was playing on a whole nother level this year, in my opinion.
Yeah. Honestly, I feel like Gorlami might want to throw Quay Walker in there for the absolute, pancake block he threw.
No, yeah.
He threw on that athletic trainer in the final game of the season.
If they don't got pads on, they're fair game for
Textbook,
Clay
hand
Walker.
in the chest, straight forward, full extend the arms, lean a little bit, but not too much.
I just really hope that it is like they update his contract coming this year and just take away pay every time he does something stupid like that. Because I mean, he was definitely like he knew he messed up as soon as he did that, and he just screwed over the rest of the game. But it's like now there needs to be a repercussion when he does it now, like not just by the NFL but by the Packers as well. But yeah, I agree, Nick Bosa. He was playing on a whole nother level out there.
Yeah, he's been great this season. We also have the rookies, defensive and offensive rookie. Sauce Gardner won for defensive rookie. Not much of a surprise. Only one close were Tariq Woolen, cornerback for the Seahawks, and Aiden Hutchinson, defensive end / outside linebacker for the Lions. I could see Hutchinson getting some love, but also Gardner has been one of the better cornerbacks in the entire league. So, yeah, I think it's well deserved.
Yeah, Sauce Gardner. That's not Sauce Gardner just blew it out of the water for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's really not much of an argument there. I mean, I'd put Hutchinson as a number 2, but he doesn't come close to Gardner in that situation.
Yeah. Offensive rookie, this one was interesting. Kenneth Walker III, running back for the I want to say Seattle Supersonics. Seattle Seahawks, there we go. Seattle Seahawks, who was their supersonic running back. An amazing job for them, was probably one of the keys to their offense. Didn't end up winning it. Brock Purdy, the Linsanity story of the NFL, Mr. Irrelevant, coming in and leading the Niners to an NFC Championship before his weenus was tore open by Hassan Reddick.
Not the weenus.
Not the weenus. So that left the only other person available was given the award to Garrett Wilson, who I believe is the wide receiver. Yeah,
he's receiver.
Receiver for the Jets.
Jets wide receiver.
So the Jets getting an offensive and defensive rookie of the year, which is pretty impressive. I don't know if that's happened a time before, but still very impressive. Pretty well deserved, though. I think honestly Kenneth Walker should have won it. It was a really big key to that offense. There's not much love for running backs in this league anymore.
No, there's really not.
I think the reason why they're thinking Garrett Wilson, he has to deal with Zach Wilson.
The Salute to Service Award was given to the person that gives back the most to the military community. Hayden Hurst, George Kittle were the most finalists, but was given to head coach of the Washington Commanders, Ron Rivera. I really can't say too much about that award, I guess. I mean,
I never knew that was an award.
Yeah, one of the awards that they don't really advertise that well. Offensive Player of the Year. This one's interesting.
Yep.
Finalist: Patrick Mahomes, Jalen Hurts, Tyreek Hill, and Justin Jefferson. Winner: Justin Jefferson. I like that. He's probably not going to get MVP because the Vikings. But he had some amazing games this season. Put on a great performance. How does that make you feel as a Packers fan?
I'm just glad that we shut him down the second time we played him. Yeah, that's a win in my book because he was unstoppable. I mean, you had to find a way to stop him, and it was probably the only real time that he's been shut down that much. I mean, he had to get double teamed, but it was the only way to try to guarantee a victory for the Packers. So the fact that you have to take 2 guys and cover a guy an entire game, just kind of proves that he was out there to play. I mean, he made some incredible catches throughout the year, and he's a big part of that team. Like, he's the reason they got as far as they did, on offense at least.
Yeah.
Can't be mad at it, but I can be. I'm going to be. But,
you're just mad Vikings have receivers.
Yeah.
Hey, Christian Watson's panned out to be pretty good.
True.
I wish he would have been like, if he would have been playing the way he did towards the end of the season right away, I feel like he could have been in the talks for
I think he had to learn and he had to learn quick, and he wasn't a
Yeah,
quick
he
enough
had to
learner.
learn
But
quick, and when you have to learn quick, when you got Rodgers, it's not.
you end up dropping wide open passes when there's no one around you 15 feet in the
Yeah,
Vikings
and then
game in
you start
Minneapolis
getting
during the
cussed
first
out
couple
and
weeks of the season.
demoralized. You
Yeah,
get demoralized by a 39-year-old.
Quaalude taking. Yeah,
Ooh, guess who? Guess what? Comeback play of the year just got announced.
it'd be
Ooh.
Geno, shouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
Geno. There we go.
Yep. Little Gino.
I can see that.
Geno
Yeah.
Smith for Comeback Player of the Year. Other finalists include Christian McCaffrey and Saquon Barkley. I like Geno because he was the most out of nowhere. McCaffrey, people knew he was still good. I mean, if McCaffrey was never hurt, honestly, we'd be talking about him being in the two-man conversation for best running back in the league right now. Him and Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
He's honestly still probably the most lethal passing option out of the backfield of true running backs, minus Deebo Samuel, minus other things. And then Saquon has still been good. He tailed off the end of the season, which wasn't great, but also at the same time, before this season, he wasn't terrible. He was okay. It was the injury coming back for him, but Geno Smith came out of nowhere, so I'm glad Geno Smith won that.
Yeah. I didn't mind the nominees either. Like the 3 nominees was still a good 3 picks. Just I think Geno Smith wins it.
Yep.
100%.
We will wait for the announcement of the MVP. The finalists are Joe Burrow, Jalen Hurts, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, and Justin Jefferson. You can I think you can write Justin Jefferson off since he got Offensive Player of the Year. Usually Offensive Player of the Year is just basically like, you did really good this season, but you're not the MVP kind of award, sadly, is what it's become. Cooper Kupp got it last year. He should have got MVP over Rodgers. But yeah, I think it's going to be Mahomes at this point just because he's looked better than Jalen Hurts. He's also broken some records. And he's playing through an injury. So
Jalen Hurts broke touchdown rushing records, though.
Yeah, I think I'm going to take the hot take. I'm going to go with Jalen Hurts on it.
I think Mahomes will get it because Mahomes is a better quarterback than Hurts. That's no offense to Hurts, but Mahomes is just a better passer. And a better reader of a defense.
Hurts
and
is a good scrambler,
he has the entire NFL media coverage just stroking him off every game because he makes a little whoop pass or a no look pass, and it's just
something flashy, and it gets their attention.
Yeah, he could take a shit
in the middle of the field. You be flashy, you get media.
Analyze it.
So I think that's just CBS telling Romo's like, "Hey, don't be smart. We need to be dumb. You need to deep throat him."
Just, I need you to just freak out, almost screaming, and just be so impressed by this no look pass that went 5 yards.
Some other big news that we'll cover real quick in the NFL world. Brett Favre is filing defamation lawsuits against Shannon Sharp and Pat McAfee and state auditor Shad White as other sports commentators for defamation because I believe were his lawsuits that he stole money from the people of Mississippi, were those now proven to be falsified? Or
I don't know the exact details on it, but I'm guessing if he's going for defamation charges, then it would have been proven to be false, is my guess.
I don't know. I did not follow that.
The official ESPN article written by John Barr and Anthony Oliveri say that he is still embroiled in the largest welfare fraud scandal in Mississippi state history. So
it sounds like he's jumping the gun here.
Right. It would be a different thing if he was proven innocent and he didn't take all this money or didn't appropriate the funds. And then he went and said, you guys were defaming me when I didn't do anything. Then he would have a case. But you haven't proven that you aren't not guilty yet. And he's going after big targets. Obviously, Shad White.
McAfee.
Yeah, Shad White is the state auditor who, that's the government you're going after. Not a good idea. Shannon Sharp.
Never a good idea.
Shannon Sharp, who a lot of people love, a lot of people hate, but and then Pat McAfee, who is generally well loved in a lot of communities, especially in the football world. Not to mention the WWE world. and the NCAA world.
Yeah.
So I think the term digging himself a deeper hole does not do this justice for Favre. I think this man
It
has
really
thrown
doesn't.
dynamite at his feet while he's in a mine shaft.
Yeah,
This is not a good look.
The gunslinger threw it straight into the ground.
Yeah. Well, usually he throws it to the defense, most interceptions in NFL history, but
Hey, he trusted his receivers in triple coverage, all right?
yeah.
You get that kind of trust with your boys.
Yeah, if only the people of Mississippi could trust him as much.
It's not a football, so I mean, there's no trust there. It's
Yeah.
money. It's something that matters.
Yeah. This does not look good for Favre.
Yeah.
A really great quarterback that probably is gonna like his legacy is gonna be greatly affected by this, and it's probably gonna be drugged down into the dirt. I don't think it's gonna be a good look for him.
No, it's definitely not.
Yeah. I don't think the NFL will remove him from the Pro Football Hall of Fame, but I mean, isn't OJ Simpson in the Pro Football Hall of Fame too? Still,
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
If you actually look for Hall of Fame shit, there's actually players like back in the like 20s to 40s. Technically, they want to get them out, but they don't.
Right? Because I mean, back then,
yeah,
life was very different. You could say different things, and do different things, and
which is one of those things. Like, what's the Hall of Fame? Is it supposed to be the playing career statistics or the person's personality? It's like I thought it was the statistics and just
it's also their impact on the game as well. Like when it's said and done, like Michael Jordan wouldn't be Michael Jordan if he also didn't have the big impact he had on basketball. You know, that huge impact he had on basketball and creating the basketball game to be more popular than it was before, and creating his own brand of shoes and clothes and everything that's extended far into the different reaches of many different sports. Like Michigan football wears Jordan gear now. Michigan football, like, I mean, there's impact outside of the field, court or ice, that you could say that attributes to a person's greatness and claim to a Hall of Fame career. So, yeah, there you go, Brett Favre. Anyway, let's get out of that and let's go ahead and review the Pro Bowl.
Oh.
Anyway, thank you for joining the Football Stooges.
I was about to say Sean Payne to the Broncos.
Yeah, Sean Payne to the Broncos. I liked how when he got asked about Wilson's personal coach, he says, "Yep, we're not gonna have that here."
I guess we could talk about that after the Pro Bowl stuff.
I mean, probably the biggest thing about the Pro Bowl is just seeing how it was. I mean, the people had fun that were in the Pro Bowl. It was a flag football game. Didn't accomplish what they wanted to, though. People still got hurt. Myles Garrett still broke his toe. Will not need surgery.
Break your toe in flag football.
He was doing a obstacle course and smacked his foot into a barricade.
Oh, attaboy.
I don't know why I'm laughing at this.
Hey, at least
I mean, Myles Garrett can smack into left and right tackles all day, and then taps a barricade and his foot breaks. I don't know. I mean, it's the Browns.
I mean, he can hit Pittsburgh quarterbacks over the head with their own helmet, but he can't handle a barricade, I guess.
Yeah, very interesting. Odd way to set it up. Yeah, the flag football was cool. They played 3 separate games. Then they had some like different competitions, like pulling this big wall that had weights on the back, an obstacle course. They had basically a slam dunk contest, which was like make some really cool catches, which was super underwhelming. It involved a play where Stephon Diggs tried to have a bunch of cheerleaders in front of him, and then he was behind them, and they would separate. Then he would jump on a trampoline. Smoke would come out, and he would run through the smoke and catch 2 footballs side by side. Tried it 3 times, didn't work. It looked really weird because he was kneeling behind the cheerleaders the whole time, and he was just sitting there, his head at like just their backside level. I'm like, this is really weird. What are you doing?
I don't think
Stephon Diggs thinks he's slick.
By it, but
it still looked weird. Like it was just like your head is right there. Like, what are you doing?
It puts a bad image on it. But it's like,
at least look at the
but
turf.
Did he?
At least look at the turf first, or something. Just sit there and wait, and then they move and in you go. Like you don't. It was weird. My biggest complaint was the the big guys did nothing. Defensive
Yeah.
ends, defensive tackles, offensive guards, and centers did nothing. The only time I saw guys rush the quarterback was when it was a Fred Warner or a Micah Parsons rush the quarterback, and those are linebackers. And then you would have like a guy like Frank Ragnow snap the ball, center for the AFC out of Detroit. He would snap the ball and immediately look up like he's about to block something and realize, oh, I can't block, and then just sit down and literally pull out his phone. He pulled out his phone multiple times mid-play because he can't do anything. So he's just sitting there. Then they get to go and they get to play tug of war and run through a couple barricades and blocks. And they played 3 flag football games. Why didn't they have one game where the only people besides the quarterbacks that were playing should be offensive and defensive linemen? Why didn't they have a game like that? Why didn't they have a big boy
because
game?
like where I'm from, like school that I coach for sports. I ref high school football, but like I don't touch anything else football. But they do flag football, and it's like you throw in your linemen, you have your receivers, but like at the middle school level, they rotate everyone. They go, it's boring. Just why would you play football if you just sit there and you can't block or anything? Like, so they switch it up. They go, you may be a bigger kid. You may be like 190 pounds and 5'3", but go play wide receiver. Go play running back. All they gotta do is pull your flag. It's not like they're gonna tackle you. So, like, I feel like they could have done something more so the linemen could have had more fun playing. Let them have their let them have their holiday moment at wide receiver.
The whole dunk contest catching thing was really weird. They had like Snoop Dogg, Pete Davidson, and some other guy like judge it, and it is such a ripoff of the NBA's dunk contest, which is so much more interesting, even if you're not a basketball fan, just to see guys, do crazy 360 dunks or jump over a car from the free throw line, or guys really small like Spud Webb dunk. But like in this, you're just seeing Stephon Diggs drop the ball every 3 or 4 passes. I don't. It was weird. It was just weird.
I didn't watch the Pro Bowl.
I didn't either.
You didn't miss much.
I tried to watch the NHL All-Star skill stuff, but then they fucked themselves over with that too. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? No, like it wasn't fun to watch for that one either. It used to be, but no,
I mean,
they
yeah. Even then, like late in the game, they had one final game to decide who it was going to be, and even like there were some like disputed calls and stuff, and the rules were weird and not set up correctly. And I mean, Pat McAfee and Kirk Herbstreit were calling it. It should have been electrifying and cool, but it really wasn't. I think we need to go back to the tackle football aspect of it. I think that'd be a good thing to do. Like, it was fun to watch guys,
Did Jalen Ramsey text somebody?
Sean Taylor did too. Yeah.
No,
there was a fake punt run in one Pro Bowl, and Sean Taylor came in and killed a guy basically. But yeah,
I think the best Pro Bowl moment was I forget what year it was, but they had Ed Hockley as the head official, and they threw a flag.
Yes, there are penalties in the Pro Bowl.
Yep. Yeah. Yes, there are penalties. I really wish Ed was still like officiating, because he always tried to make the official's position look just entertaining. Like, I'm a human being.
Yeah, when he goes out, he's like holding defense number 75. Like, I swear, Ed Hockley was like, "Oh, Rodriguez was like, what size do you wear? Oh, I wear a small. You sure? Yeah." And he's like, holding up on his shoulder.
I was waiting for one I was waiting for a moment where, like growing up, I wait for a moment where if he like go offense or defense, so he like sticks out his arm to indicate which side, and he just rips the shirt. He rips his reffing uniform.
Oh man, that'd be great.
And you just see him flexing.
R.I.P. Ed Hockley. He's not dead. He's just not reffing anymore.
Yeah, I wish his son could be more entertaining.
Is he like in his 60s or 70s? Like he's
a lot of
pretty
refs
old.
are old. A lot of refs are older guys. I mean, you have to be
Yeah.
so quick, but also he didn't look 60 or 70. That man,
Yeah, but
that man was
Ed Hockley is
raw.
72.
God damn.
Yeah, he don't look 72.
No,
doesn't.
he was jacked.
Alrighty, so let's go ahead and look at the Super Bowl, the Kelsey Bowl. The
All right, can we get one
Ma-
thing out of the way here with this?
What? What's that?
Do you think Donna's gonna do the coin flip?
Who's gonna do the coin
Wait.
flip?
The mom.
Oh.
Because like they
Wait.
talked about it on their own podcast, and her like one condition if she were to do it was if they both the sons were okay with it and it wouldn't affect how they would play. If the mom did the coin flip.
I mean, I think it'd be cool to do. I mean, the NFL
It
already
would be-
rigged it to be the Kelsey Bowl, so why does it matter?
Whoa. Salty Bengals fan here.
They saw the Eagles. They saw the Eagles smack the Niners after the Niners fall apart after they're on their fifth string quarterback.
the 49ers hospital team.
Yeah.
I'm
not like
pretty
the
sure
Bengals.
they-
Oh,
I'm pretty sure they
yeah.
filled
Go
out-
ahead and give the
No,
Chiefs
it's-
7 3rd and 9s. That won't raise any
No,
They
suspicion.
filled
it's-
out half those
it's-
starters on a
It's not like the
wheelchair from
Bengals
hospital
fucked
that
themselves
morning.
over, especially
No,
with the
I mean, they
mayor trying to
did.
talk shit.
They did. They talked way too much shit. Also, can we
I
talk in
also
this
did.
picture how sad Jason Kelsey looks in this picture?
That's probably when the 2017 game.
Yeah, and they lost.
But I mean, like,
Yeah.
Travis is all happy and smiley. Also, these guys the Kelsey brothers are such polar opposites. Like Travis Kelsey is this really flamboyant, likes to dress fancy, likes to be hip with a lot of different things, listens to a lot of more modern style, I guess like music, if you will. And then Jason is this like backwater, drives a truck, has kids already, was recruited
Isn't
back
Jason
to the
the older
Eagles. Yeah, Jason. He was recruited back to the Eagles by his coach sending him a keg of beer. These guys are such
Okay, to
polar
be fair-
opposites. It's hilarious.
to be fair, my coach sends me a keg of beer. I'm going back. I'll play.
I mean,
Keep
Chelsea-
kegs coming. I'll keep playing.
I mean, Jason's a fucking Chad. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
as a fucking center, he's small for a center, but he still fucking pushes people.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
he
yeah.
knows how to use his weight well.
Like-
And he's very very strong.
He's very
Technique.
calm too. He's not hot headed at all.
Also, two
Travis
grads of
is.
Cincinnati. Yeah, 2 Cincinnati grads.
Yeah.
2
Unless you
Ohio
piss-
fucks.
Unless you piss off Jason from like I just remembered the Super Bowl parade thing when all like people talking shit. He's like, you try to talk shit about these guys. I don't know if you saw that speech before.
Yeah, I have. We're the underdogs, and he's in there in the big fucking. I don't know what suit he was in.
It's a Philadelphia actually parade, traditional parade. Forgot what it was called exactly, but it's been around for like decades.
Yeah, but I love how both these guys embrace the cities that they're in. Like, Jason has become a full-fledged Philadelphia fuck. Knows everything Philly and about the city and about what it's about, and he has talked about the best place to go and get a cheesesteak in Philly, and his route to find that. And then Travis has fallen in love with Kansas City and Missouri, both of which share different sides of Kansas City and different areas and aspects of that. You like to see these old school focus players that really embrace the city that they're brought into, and not guys you see like in other sports that are traded so often that they don't really settle down. They don't set up their own foundations or their own things, or they don't really put their roots in any one city because they know they're just going to move on. As we saw with like the NBA trade deadline yesterday, which moved like fucking everyone.
NHL kind of has a lot of people stay where they're at depending on what happens.
I mean,
Little
no,
Cronwall.
the Blues guy just got traded. What was his name? To
Oh,
the
yeah, but, like-
what's
Yeah,
his
but
name?
because of-
Younger guy.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about, but thing is though, the Blues basically have no cap space. As like, fuck it, the Blues are not going to do that. Hold on, let me look at their record again. The Blues are not going to be like doing well this year. Yeah, they fucking suck. They're shit.
My
The
Stars.
Western Conference of the NHL is fucking shit.
Brandon,
Fucking Philly could make it into the playoffs in the Western Conference, and they're fucking shit with 22 and
What
My
are the Red
Stars
Wings
aren't
sit-
doing
what
much
are-
better. Jamie Benn's
where are the
getting
Red
old
Wings sitting
and
at?
Seguin getting
You're
old.
leading the conference. The Dallas Stars is leading the conference.
Yeah, it's the West.
True, but thing is though, you forget President's Trophy curse. If the Boston wins President's Trophy, there's 75% chance they're not even gonna make
I don't
it
know.
to the
I don't even understand why Boston's
finals.
good. They're all. It's a retirement.
I don't
They're
know.
all like
I don't know.
95
I
years
don't know
old.
either. I don't know either because it's a fucking boys club. Fucking Philly with fucking boys club. Yeah, Toronto being fucking boys club. Montreal, Edmonton's the basically one of the biggest offenders being a boys club. Fuck that shit. Sorry.
What do you mean by boys club? Elaborate on that.
They don't hire based on merit. They just hire on, you played for this organization before. Like the old boys club and or trying to think how it was explained.
Like if you've played for this team before, you're gonna kind of stay here. You know, we want you kind of back.
Can I stay here as a GM or in the office and still fuck up and not do anything good? The Bruins fired their coach for no reason, like at the end of the season, who wasn't bad, and apparently picked up a coach who was.
Coaches get changed so much in the NHL because the players tune them out.
Depends. It depends.
It's weird if you look at like the Red Wings for that, because they got Cronwall working up in the offices now, and the only reason Cronwall retired was because he was sick of getting fined for his hits.
Yeah. Like,
granted, he was getting old, but like at the same time, it's like
old's not.
He had some
Christian
brutal hits.
Pronger played till he was like 95 motherfucking years old. Christian Pronger, like, didn't Philly win the Stanley Cup late? Or they went to one, I thought, with Pronger.
They lost to Blackhawks. They lost to the Blackhawks in 2009.
Fucking Blackhawks.
But boys club means like same people generally get considered for jobs repeatedly, and it's very difficult for someone new to come into circle. Like that's one of the meanings. Tortorella is the fucking coach for Philly. He fucking sucks. Rangers, Winnipeg. No, it was Columbus. Columbus and some other shit.
Columbus has never been good. Columbus is. I don't know why there's a team in Columbus. I don't.
They had the fan base there. They won and won.
It's weird how they go, but yeah. Anyway,
okay, sorry.
Yeah, back onto the Super Bowl. Chiefs are currently listed as the favorites with a 51.8% chance to win. Eagles 48.2. Philly is -1.5. Spread 59%. Money line still in favor of. I believe this is. I don't know betting.
Yes,
this is in favor of the Philly. 125.
It's in favor for Philly.
Yeah.
Because betting, if it's plus, you gain more money if you pick that team and they win.
Right. So injuries. McCole Hardman is on injured reserve. He will not be playing in the game. L'Jarius Sneed is listed now as questionable. Patrick Mahomes has came out and said that his ankle is completely fine. He feels fully ready to go. That's probably true. There's probably still some residual pain that he's going to have, but again, they're gonna.
I mean, it's gonna tweak. It's gonna act up, but I don't think it's gonna be enough to like go. Oh,
yeah,
I gotta
fucking
worry about
morphine,
this.
ketamine, dioxylhydrogen, and methamphetamine.
It's gonna be like a sore joint. Like he's gonna be fine. It's gonna irritate him from time to time, but he's not gonna be limping on it.
And this is an issue here, though. Lane Johnson, questionable.
He's playing. Lane Johnson's playing. He said he's going to play through that groin injury no matter what. And even after that game, it was either the Giants game or San Fran game where he said he felt something pull again, and he actually felt better.
How do you pull something and it feels better?
I do adrenaline. I don't know.
I pulled a hamstring in track one time, and I about cried.
It's Lane motherfucking Johnson. I don't know.
Yeah, he is.
Then again, I can't get cortisone shots when I ran track. I could do a cortisone shot and go out and run the 100-meter dash.
Yeah.
Landon Dixon is the one that's iffy.
Yeah, Landon Dickinson, a guard, been playing really well. Part of that Eagles front line that's going to be that I think is going to be at an advantage in this game. We'll talk about the different aspects of the field and who we think has the advantage. But
Even
again,
listed
having
as
him out is not going
questionable
to be
for
great.
him. Even him listed as questionable, if he has any pain, it's gonna affect the way that line is.
Yeah, I mean, any pain at all is gonna limit the way you play as a player, especially as an
Yeah.
O lineman where you are getting hit every play no matter what.
Yeah.
Brereton
I did-
Corvey is listed as questionable, who's a backup receiver. Cam Jurgens is a backup center who's listed as questionable, and Avonte Maddox, who's one of the cornerbacks in the rotation, is also listed as questionable. But the big ones
What
there
is
are
Dickerson? What's
Dickerson and
Dickerson's
Johnson.
injury?
What do you say? Dickerson?
What is Dickerson's injury right now?
Somewhere in the arm.
Okay, I mean, that's not. If it was something like legs or hip, that's gonna be a lot more like hurtful to a guard. I granted you need your arms, but as long as your hips and everything are good, you can move and get in the positions you need to be in.
Because I thought I saw something update like, yeah, he's questionable, but he said he's going to try. Like, it's not as bad as he returned to practice.
Breaking news! We have the Pro Football Hall of Fame class of 2023 has just been announced. We have players: Rondé Barber, cornerback out of the Buccaneers. Don Coyle, a head coach for the Cardinals and Chargers from 73 and to 86. Chuck Howley, linebacker. Yeah, Chuck Howley is a linebacker from the Bears, 58 to 59, and Cowboys, 61 to 73. Joel Kelko, defensive tackle for the Jets from 77 to 88, and for the Colts in 88. Darrelle Revis, who played for the Jets, Bucks, Patriots, and Chiefs. We all know Revis Island. Ken Riley, really great cornerback for the Bengals, 69 to 83. Houday.
Yeah, of course.
Joe
you know that one.
motherfucking Thomas.
Thank God.
Browns, 2007 to
sir.
2017, first ballot. Love to see it. Zach Thomas, linebacker, Dolphins and Cowboys, 96 to 2008. And then the one and only DeMarcus Ware, Cowboys 2005, 2013, and Broncos 2014 to 16. All great people to be put in the Hall of Fame. I love the Rondé Barber, Darrelle Revis, Joe Thomas, Ken Riley, DeMarcus Ware, and this is a great lineup. Some of the guys I don't know because Chuck Howley played in the 50s and 70s. So,
yeah.
But I mean, they're being put in there for a reason. But I love the first ballot nods for Revis and Thomas. That's a great position for them to be in.
You know, speaking of, the announcement of the Hall of Fame, I was at when the Packers played the Titans. I was at Lambeau Field for that game, and that's when they did Leroy Butler's induction there. It's crazy just to see when you're actually there, just how much a stadium can just remember a player, whether or not when Leroy Butler played, I wouldn't have known. I don't think I was alive then, but I remember all the years Leroy Butler played, but I don't think I was alive then. Yeah, no, I wasn't really around for that, but just an entire stadium rallied around no one went into inside to go to concessions or anything when they did Leroy Butler's induction thing. Put up his name up in Lambeau. It was everyone was out there, and it's just crazy how much people can just reminisce on this stuff when you see this, especially when you see names come in, and you just go, and some of them I hear after you just said, I'm like, oh, I remember hearing about that guy. I remember going through watching old NFL. God, I forget the name of the show.
Yeah, NFL clips.
My dad watched.
Yeah.
NFL clips and the NFL films. My dad watches those all the time. And, as a kid, I used to watch them, and then I see these names pop up in the Hall of Fame. I go, I remember that guy. I remember the entire NFL film about him. It was crazy. I don't know. I just feel like the Hall of Fame stuff goes deeper. Even after that, even after the announcement today, it goes deeper. If you're the one person who goes to the game when they do their induction at the stadium, it's
a special.
It's kind of surreal.
A player
it's a special moment, and it's surreal.
Yeah.
Like
So
I
because
think people wanted Leroy Butler to try to jump back into the stands one more time, but it would have been awesome because he started the Lambeau Leap.
big breaking news: we actually have the MVP announced as well. Patrick Mahomes has
Ooh.
now won his second MVP, beating Josh Allen, Justin Jefferson, Jalen Hurts, and Joe Burrow. I think after the AFC Championship, we all saw this coming. I
really
think
wanted to
honestly
be the odd
AFC
one out on the pick.
Yeah, I think the AFC Championship was the the fight to get to the Super Bowl and the fight for the MVP.
Yeah.
I think whoever won that, it would have been Joe or Patrick. So,
and considering how close that game was and what the adversity Mahomes went through to get there, yeah, he deserved it more. Because I mean, the Eagles went through a hospital-ridden 49ers team.
Yeah.
I mean, it almost came to the point they had to put McCaffrey at
quarterback, yeah.
quarterback.
Yeah. But I would consider MVP more regular season MVP.
There's always going to be recency bias, though. There's always going to be
True.
recency bias, which is a big issue. But yeah, there you go. Patrick Mahomes is your NFL MVP of the season. Back to the Super Bowl, so we keep getting sidetracked. Let's take a look at each of the sections of the Super Bowl. We need this. I mean, we can kind of keep the stat page up, but we'll go each side of the ball and look at the different aspects of the game. Let's start. If the Chiefs are on offense, we'll start with the trenches. Who do you think has the advantage in the trenches? Is it the Chiefs' offensive line, or is it the Philadelphia Eagles' defensive line?
I think I'm gonna have to go with the Eagles defense line because I mean, you look at Mahomes, he has to scramble a lot. Like he makes those crazy plays because he has to.
It's
move
gotten
around
better since
and-
that Bucs Super Bowl, though. It's gotten better since then.
There was injuries for that Bucs Super Bowl too.
True, but it has gotten better since then.
Yeah, I think I'm going to stand strong on that Eagles defensive line, but you know,
I mean, they have.
I've been
good.
wrong. Yeah, they have
Hassan
looked
Reddick
really good.
looked amazing in the AFC Championship.
Yeah,
they're gonna.
Oh, go ahead.
They're gonna test Mahomes. Like they're gonna get pressure to him. It's just a matter of whether or not the quarterbacks and linebackers that are in pass coverage can hold to the receivers, tight ends, in order for it to keep Mahomes away from making those plays that he can make. I think that's what's going to really come down to.
There's going to be bias. Eagles D-line. I'm sorry. But actually looking, you have Jordan Davis for the run. You have Hassan Reddick, Josh Sweat, Javon Hargrave, Fletcher Cox.
Reddick looks good, but I mean, Cox and Davis are not going to have fun with Creed Humphrey. I'll tell you that much.
True.
And then Reddick's the only one that off the edge that's looked great in the playoffs. The others have looked mediocre. And then you also have 85-year-old Ndamukong Suh off the bench. And Linval Joseph, who's like 97. So,
and then there's Robert Quinn. That was a trade at 4th round pick. Hasn't made him done much, but hey, he's there.
I mean, I'm just glad that Suh has mellowed out as he got older. He kind of learned his lesson that he can't be that guy kicking linemen while they're down and being this dirty player. You know, he's the opposite of Vontaze Perfect. He learned his lesson, and he's actually changed.
Also, there was something I saw.
Antonio Brown crazy.
Also, an article I saw was Eagles defense should not blitz Patrick Mahomes. They don't fucking blitz anyway. Gannon never did any blitzes.
I mean, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers won a Super Bowl by playing Tampa 2 and only having Warren Sapp and Derek Brooks rush the quarterback at random times. I mean, that was their game plan. It worked.
I know, but I'm just saying, they'd be like, don't blitz Mahomes. It's like Gannon never fucking blitzed anyway. Yeah. So what do you expect? It's do you expect him to blitz now?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Going to that Kansas City offense, there's one thing that just makes me so mad, so aggravated as a Packers fan. And I think you know where this is going, but MVS, Marquez Valdes-Scantling. It's just it seems like whenever any Packers player leaves, all of a sudden they like because
become great, yeah.
MVS in Green Bay couldn't catch a ball to save his life.
And he goes out against
Like,
the Bengals and has the game of his life because every other guy's
yeah,
locked up.
Probably said fuck
like
Rodgers.
someone's got to be.
Yeah.
I don't think that was Rodgers' fault.
I know. I'm just being an ass.
I get, but just Jesus, every freaking time. If a Packer play, except for Nelson, except for Jordy Nelson, I think he was just too old. He couldn't get off that injury. But other people that leave is like, oh my god, why do they pop off when they
Also,
leave
random
Green
guys
Bay?
that go to the Packers don't really do as well. Like Jimmy Graham went to the Packers.
Like the only like relevant one I can
old.
think of as of like recent like 2010s would be Peppers and Wilson or Charles Woodson.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. When it comes to the run game, the Chiefs are on offense, Philadelphia's on defense. I'm going to give Philadelphia the nod on that one. Jordan Davis and Fletcher Cox are going to shut down anything that comes to ahead when it comes to running the football. I don't think the run game is going to be a big option for the Chiefs. They might get something on a delay or a quick dump off to Pacheco and let him just try to get some yards. But I think the Eagles have the definite advantage in the run game, at least.
Or
if they're on defense.
Or dependent Andy Reid go third down screens on 3rd and 7.
Yeah. I mean, aren't many of the Eagles, there's still some Eagles coaching jobs or coaches, that are still former employees of Andy Reid's system, right? Like, will they know what he's going to do, maybe?
Ooh, very, very few, actually. Because they're all on different teams.
Right.
Harbaugh, Rivera, McDermott, Tankley, Doug Peterson. I'm trying to remember some of the others. Jim Johnson passed away in 2008. I'm trying to remember some of the others. There was one, a running backs coach, but he only went up to running backs coach. There's actually not a lot on the Eagles that was.
Not like they have the playbook, and it's also not like Reid's tactics have changed since he's gotten Patrick Mahomes and been on the Chiefs for a while. But at the same time, like, it could be some advantage.
I mean, it could, but at the same time, Andy Reid is a good enough coach to be able to adjust in any way he needs to.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, so you could see it as an advantage, but at the same time, Reid's smart enough to just say, okay, they might have a guy that knows what I do. I'm just going to run something a little different. They're not going to know.
Here's how you beat Reid. Be better at time management.
He's decent at it, but still, yeah. That's an issue.
He gotten better, but that was the biggest complaint, was a fucking waste of timeouts, not knowing time management.
Yeah, he did burn through a lot in the AFC Championship, and I was kind of surprised at it, but yeah.
I'm not.
My only complaint with the Chiefs is that once they got their other running backs back, and this is going to be a fantasy biased. This is just what angers me. I had Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and as soon as the healthy guys came back,
better.
Pacheco is better.
Yeah, Pacheco has looked great.
Like, I'm looking at it right now. I'm looking through my stats.
He's quicker, more explosive, stronger, faster, catches better, everything.
In his first 4 games, his lowest score was 14.9. He went 22.4, 15.8, 14.9, 22.4. Like, for a running back, that's good. Like, he knew what he was doing. But then all of a sudden he goes to getting the healthy running backs back, and all of a sudden he's down to 6.5, 3.3. But I feel like they would have kept him in at a more...
Right, because most teams do 2-back rotations now, though. Most teams
but like, if they would have kept... I feel like if they would have kept him in, he could have... I feel like he still would have done really well, and I feel like he would have been a better option at a 2-back.
And also, Andy Reid doesn't really go one running back all the time either. Like, it's kind of rare for Andy Reid to have running back go like 20 rushes or something like that.
Pacheco's also better in the passing game. Pacheco's a decent threat to catch the ball too. It's a better option for Mahomes. Which brings us to the next side: Eagles on defense, Chiefs on offense. The passing game. The options for the Chiefs are not great, but they're okay, and Mahomes makes them amazing. Obviously, we know Travis Kelce is an incredible tight end, probably the best in the league right now. And covering him is going to be a difficult thing. I would say the Eagles have the advantage if Mahomes is throwing to wide receiver. However, the Chiefs have the advantage if Mahomes is throwing to Kelce, because I don't think there's many cornerbacks or middle linebackers that can cover Kelce on the Eagles. Yeah.
No.
You guys don't have a
They
tall, athletic, strong, kind of Chidobe Awuzie build of a cornerback to guard Kelce. You don't.
Yep. No, I was saying I agree with you
Yeah.
on that one.
It's almost like you got to take a linebacker and just jam him right away and have a corner ready to cover him.
Or have a linebacker that's really good at pass coverage because he played at the University of Wyoming, Logan Wilson. But flip the script. Chiefs on defense, Eagles on offense. The trenches. I don't think, unless Chris Jones takes like Bane's venom or rage juice from fucking Batman, there's no way in hell the Eagles are losing that front line. If they have everyone ready to go and on as many painkillers as you can put in their body legally, I think they'll be dominant.
You have to have the whole Eagles offensive line to be injured to beat that offensive line.
I think you just have to have one tackle out, and then Chris Jones will be a bitch and go to the other end of the line and go against it like he did against the Bengals and say, "Oh, you guys don't have, I'll move myself to end instead of tackle," and rush the quarterback because Locke Collins and Jonah Williams are both out. Then we move to the run game. Eagles on offense, Chiefs on defense. I would say inside the tackles, it'll be a little bit more difficult, but as long as you throw a double team on Chris Jones, it's wide open. And then outside the tackles, the Eagles dominate, especially with Snead questionable. If he's in, it'll make it a bit harder. If he's not in, it's wide the fuck open.
We didn't let Gerlomi go. You just went going.
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna agree with you guys too. Look at it a lot. I mean, I know the trenches don't get a lot of praise, don't get a lot of looks. Well, I'm watching Super Bowl. I'm watching those trenches because I think it's gonna be make or break. But I gotta say the Eagles, if they're all healthy, that defensive line is not gonna hold up.
Yeah, run game. I think
you got undersized Kelce, but at the same time, you watch him play. He is just smarter in every way.
And he pulls. He's a lead blocker. He's basically a fullback sometimes on those plays.
Yeah. And he hits with a purpose. When he blocks, he hits with a purpose.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And then I think that translates to the run game, as I think we'll all probably be in unison and agreeing here. The run game's going to go the Eagles' way.
Simply because of that offensive line.
Yeah.
Mainly offensive line.
Hands down, if they're going to win the run game, it's not going to be off a running back. It's going to be because those guys in the trenches are given everything they got, and they are just beating and battering that entire Kansas City line.
I don't think the Eagles even have a single running back that's close to being a Pro Bowler. I think they're just getting fed open lanes by the O-line.
Really, the only way the Chiefs stay alive in that run game is if they can take away the chances of those linemen getting second level.
And crowd the box. You have to crowd that box.
Yeah.
But then
you crowd that box, you give a pass game.
Yeah, and then also you have Jalen Hurts being able to scramble too.
Yeah, I think
you crowd that box, Jalen Hurts gets outside, it's not going to look good.
Especially with design runs. Like a read option would be devastating if you crowd the box because then everyone's inside, pop it outside. It's like Kaepernick in the NFC Championship. Gone.
Yeah. What was I about to say? At least Miles Sanders is the first 1,000-yard rusher for the Eagles since LaShawn McCoy in fucking 2014.
Yeah. Eagles offensive line is the first 1,000-yard rushing creator.
Fuck off.
You know it's right. You know it's right.
I know.
Miles Sanders is worse than Joe Mixon, even if Joe Mixon is pointing guns at people during a deep playoff run. Anyway, when we're looking at the Eagles on offense, Chiefs on defense, we're looking at the passing game. I think it all depends on L'Jarius Sneed. If Sneed is in, it's going to be a little bit more balanced. But if he's not in, then who the fuck is guarding A.J. Brown? I'm gonna put it just like that. And then who's gonna guard
Yeah.
Dallas Goddard, and who's gonna be able to
Guard
contain
Devontae Smith.
Devontae Smith and be able to contain Hurts if he gets outside the pocket, and all of a sudden the routes go to just get open, and he can do that Mahomes style thing where he just creates plays. Because I think the biggest thing is that this could be an absolute shootout, kind of like Mrs. Kelsey once, and the offenses go crazy. But I think the Eagles have the advantage because that Kansas City defense is
their defensive line is their best thing. It's either their linebackers' defensive line is basically their best.
There's some okay linebackers. Yeah, they have some okay linebackers, and they have Chris Jones, but then they lost Tyrann Mathieu, which is not great. And now L'Jarius Sneed is questionable. And if he's not back, that's a huge hit. They won't be able to cover anybody because that's their number one cornerback. And then you got a guy like A.J. Brown who is hungry for a championship and is a physical specimen in the prime of his career, being thrown the ball by Jalen Hurts, who has had many weeks to rest his shoulder. If you see where I'm going here, I'm leaning towards the Eagles in the passing game.
Yeah, I gotta agree. I gotta go with the Eagles on that one, 100%.
I would say Eagles if I gotta go with the Eagles, but then if they get some decent pressure on Hurts to make him confused or like just actually really make him scramble, not be able to throw correctly, that's what I'm worried about. Because there was at times when Jalen Hurts is scrambling and then he doesn't throw, it's very off target at times.
Yeah.
I will admit that one. Like he had some bad off targets, especially in the AFC Championship game. He overthrew. I know the score didn't matter, but still, it's like that's kind of questionable. And also, the shoulder wasn't his. A lot of people are saying like his shoulder isn't because it doesn't hurt his throwing; it's his running. Yeah, I know. It's kind of weird, but like there was some stuff about that, which I'm kind of glad they didn't do that much design runs for him in the NFC Championship game.
Yeah, they're saving it for probably the Chiefs game.
Yeah.
Special teams, I think both have good kickers, and the Chiefs have a better return. Oh, so I think that the Chiefs could break something open if they have anything to do special teams. But again, that's a big if. Special teams are.
It's Chiefs
special
all
teams
the way.
Defining games in the Super Bowl are few and far between. The last one we saw was Devin Hester in a Chicago Bears loss in the Super Bowl against the Colts.
I gotta give the Chiefs basically the only thing Eagles have is just Jake Elliott. That's it. Their special teams suck ass.
Go ahead, Gorlami.
I gotta agree. Yeah, I'll agree with you there. I gotta give it to the Chiefs there.
So I think if we look at all the stats that we've taken into account, I think the Eagles, currently by our breakdown of each side of the ball, tend to be the favorite thus far.
If we want to get a little sidetracked here, the Walter Payton Man of the Year award was announced.
Ooh, it was.
If you guys
want to
know who that was,
yeah, go ahead and tell us. It's not showing up for me.
Dak Prescott got it. Got the Walter Payton Man of the Year award.
It's because he was donating footballs to the defense.
Pretty much. But the 32 nominated players who it's just
one for every team. My gosh.
Yeah, it is.
Yep.
Wow.
And the winner of the award, they get $250,000. But what's nice too, but this is all for like charity of choice, like money. The winner gets $250,000, but everyone else that gets nominated gets $40,000 for the charity of their choice. For the Cardinals, it was Zach Ertz. The Falcons, Chris Lindstrom. Baltimore Ravens, Chuck Clark. Buffalo Bills, Deion Dawkins. Carolina Panthers, Derek Brown. Jalen Johnson of the Chicago Bears. Sam Hubbard of the Cincinnati Bengals, defensive end.
Yep, Hubbard yard rush.
Mm-hmm. Joe Bitonio, Cleveland Browns, your winner. Dallas Cowboys, Dak Prescott. Denver Broncos, Dalton Reisner. Jared Goff of the Lions. Aaron Jones of the Green Bay Packers. Good for you, Aaron. Christian Kirksey, Houston Texans. No bias there on the Packers anyway, but Shaquille Leonard of the Indianapolis Colts. Tyler Shatley of the Jaguars. Pat Mahomes, Kansas City Chiefs. I think that was pretty obvious. A.J. Cole of the Las Vegas Raiders. The punter was a nominee.
It's probably only good
love
guy
to see that.
Fucking
you love it. Love to see that. Derwin James, Chargers. Tremaine Antrim, Los Angeles Rams. Jalen Phillips, Miami Dolphins. Adam Thielen, Minnesota Vikings. I do like seeing that. I think Adam Thielen's a pretty good guy
Oh yeah,
in terms
absolutely.
of
He
that.
does charity softball games in the off season.
Mm-hmm. A lot of respect for Adam Thielen in that sense. On the field, he makes me mad, but I think he's a bit of a. I think he's a bit of a shit stain sometimes, but that's just me. Orange Guy, the New England Patriots. Demario Davis, New Orleans Saints. Saquon Barkley, New York Giants. Solomon Thomas of the New York Jets. Brandon Graham of the Eagles. Cameron Hayward, Pittsburgh
Kicker?
Steelers.
No, Brandon
Graham?
Graham's
No.
it's
He's a
Brandon
defensive
Graham.
end. Yeah, defensive end.
Oh, right.
Jake
Cameron
Elliott's the
Hayward of
fucking kicker.
Right, Jake Elliott is the kicker. Okay.
Cameron Hayward of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Nice to see a nose tackle out there doing work. Eric
Cameron
Armstead.
Hayward, really?
Yep.
That guy's a motherfucker.
Hey,
on the
if he
field
does
is
charity
different
from charity
I mean,
events.
true. I mean, that guy's a jackass.
Eric Armstead of the 49ers. Tyler Lockett of the Seattle Seahawks. I do like that pick. William Golston, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Derrick Henry, Tennessee Titans. I don't think that was much surprise to anybody. And
Who else is on the roster?
Charles Leno Jr. of the Washington Commanders. I really hope his charity was to donate to the stadium of the Washington Commanders to hopefully make that a bit of a better place. Personally,
Fix your
if
fucking
not,
pipes, Dan Schneider.
if not, I'll accept also a cancer benefit because that would also be a good choice. But god dang, that stadium is just rough. God, why can't you just fix it?
Stan Snyder's a dumbass piece of shit.
Oh
Pretty
god
much.
damn, don't even get me started on that guy.
So yeah, let's go ahead and we'll give our predictions for this game. When we give our predictions, let's do keys to victory for each team, and then give your prediction of the score who will win. And Super Bowl MVP prediction, we'll do that as well. Keys to victory, I think for the Kansas City Chiefs offensively, I think the Chiefs need to make sure that they keep the Eagles guessing. If the Eagles are able to sit back and defend the pass, you're not going to be able to get anything in. You're going to get rushed pretty heavily by Hassan Reddick, who's been on a tear. And they're going to be able to stop the run if you telegraph it. So you need to keep them guessing. Maybe that's trick plays. Maybe that's a couple, delays. Maybe it's a late leak of a running back out for a wheel route. Maybe it's a deep pass and then short passes, or vice versa. You need to keep the Eagles' defensive guessing. For the Chiefs on the defensive side of the ball, you need to make sure that you try to make the Eagles a one-sided team. If you make them only pass or only run, that's great because then you have one thing to stop. But if you let them be dynamic, use Jalen Hurts in the run and the pass, have them be able to get that three-back rotation churning, get that O-line pancaking like Waffle House, you're not going to be in a good shape. And then an extra curricular thing, I think, or outside the defense and offensive side of the ball, you really need to make sure that you give Mahomes time to be able to do what he needs to do. Because, again, Mahomes is such a great player and such a great passer that if you give him time, he can do a lot of things. You've got to make sure you give him that time. For the Eagles, offensively, they need to be very dynamic with their offense. They need to make sure that they're able to incorporate the run and the pass and really take advantage of this Chiefs defense and score. You should not have any wasted drives. This Chiefs defense is not good enough to stop you. You should be able to score them at any time. Defensively, you need to put pressure on Mahomes. Mahomes lost the Super Bowl against the Buccaneers because he was pressured. You do the same thing, you'll win. Extracurricular thing for them, I think, is the need to stay healthy. They have a lot of guys on the questionable list, a lot of guys that are banged up and not feeling great, and a lot of old motherfuckers. You can't have somebody go down with an injury. You got to stay healthy, and be ready. With all that being said, I think the final score will be 28-24 Philadelphia. We'll go to Mastodon next, and then we're going to.
I'm about to say I'll let Gorlami go before.
Okay. Gorlami, go ahead.
All right. Like you said, I think Kansas City on the opposite side is going to be their best bet. Not necessarily in the run game. I think that Eagles line is good enough to hold that run game at bay. But if they cannot get pressure on Mahomes, it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt real bad. the biggest thing is look at that defense wins championships. So if the Eagles can hold Mahomes down, not give him time, keep pressure on him, and the corners can just hold as long as they can. Not holding for a penalty, but just hold out, keep him covered, not give a good look throw. I think they can come out with it. Offensively for the Eagles, it comes back down to the same thing. I mean, that line just has to stay healthy. That line stays healthy, there's not going to be a lot that's going to stop that train moving. I mean, if the run game's going to work right then and there, it's going to get them in excellent position. And then as soon as they switch to that pass game, if they're so dead, if Kansas City is so dead set on trying to stop that run game and adjust, and they go to pass, there's not much that's going to stop that train. It's just going to keep rolling. But so long as that line can hold out and battle as hard as they can in the trenches, that's going to be the Eagles' best bet. Special teams is probably going to kill the Eagles the most, but I think in the end, I'm going to give it a 27-17 victory for the Eagles.
Okay. Chiefs, keys to victory. Let Kelsey work. Like, that's actually one of your biggest things. If you have Kelsey keep on doing work, you're giving the wide receivers other chances to make big plays. Exploit the Eagles special teams. Eagles special teams sucks ass. Like kickoff returns. They gave up the most kickoff return yards. They gave up the most punt return yards. Defensively, you got to make Jalen Hurts you got to make him scramble inside the pocket. Do not let him go outside to get some runs. Try to make him scramble inside the pocket where he has to throw awkwardly, off target, or sack him. That's the biggest stuff. All right, Eagles. The only way you stop Mahomes' offense is to keep Mahomes off the field by having the Eagles' offense keep churning. You have one of the best time possessions in the fourth quarter, especially when you're leading. Try to actually get some touchdowns in the third quarter. Please, I'm tired of field goals or no score in the third quarter. Too many times. And keep the O-line healthy. Eagles defense. Actually try to cover Kelsey. If you don't, you're fucked. And then special teams actually fucking work. God damn it. Besides Jake Kelly. Jake Kelly's awesome. But for me, being the Eagles fan, I have to go Eagles. Is going to be kind of a shootout, 31-28.
Alrighty.
A couple high score choices and someone on the lower side choice there.
I don't think either defense will be able to stop. Both these offenses in their entirety. But hey, I mean that's football. The biggest question is Gronk going to make the kick of destiny at halftime? I say he pooches it. I say it's wide left.
How many yards?
Is it 35 yarder? I think.
I don't know.
I mean, big thing in terms of victory. You look at it at any level of football. Field goals. Yeah, it's 3 points, but at this high level, at this critical moment in the game,
25
whatever
yards.
whatever team can translate to get a touchdown over a field goal at any given point in the game is going to come out on top. If you can't translate to a touchdown almost every single drive that you get, every chance you get, it's almost like shooting yourself in the foot. It's just gonna hurt you too much.
Also looking at ticket prices right now, just out of the fun of it.
Don't even get me started on that.
Don't give me, yeah. What was the lowest? $1,000 for the nosebleeds?
More like
More than
3.5.
3.5. Jesus fuck.
Yeah. Lowest is 3,240.
Yeah, that's why I'm glad I got a TV at home.
Yeah, it's better to watch on TV anyway, and it's all the way down in.
Arizona.
Yeah, but hey,
All right, let's get a real hot take here. How do you think the commercials are going to be this year?
there's already a Breaking Bad commercial that's come out, so I think they'll be pretty cool. I don't know.
I don't know. Everyone hypes up the commercials for Super Bowl. Last year, I didn't really like the commercials. I think they're like too. I think they tried a little too hard.
50-yard line seats are $8,000.
Jesus fuck. For the past few Super Bowls, I haven't really watched the commercials.
Yeah, it's usually when I go get into a drink or something.
That's when I be playing Total War Warhammer, trying to slaughter shit with the Valky and a Bloody.
These seats are insane.
So I think we got to develop a good drinking game to do for the Super Bowl, but
I took off work on Monday. I told my supervisor.
I don't even want to get into that. I'm going to a friend's Super Bowl party, so I won't be going crazy. I think I'll be mostly enjoying the game. I enjoy Super Bowls; they're usually good games, except for that one Tampa Bay St. Louis Super Bowl. That was
the Patriots. The Patriots Rams.
Or Patriots Rams. So I meant, yeah, Patriots Rams.
I definitely plan on going to work hungover Monday morning. I mean, it's going to be worth it. Granted, hopefully I don't have to do my drinking game that far. As a Scotty, I can handle a lot, but if it gets a little crazy, I might be blacking out a little bit, and it's just not going to end well for me.
Now, was it the day after the NFC Championship game? I came to work. My supervisor was like, "You're taking off that Monday, aren't you?" Yeah, do it, I dare you. Go ahead. I don't give a fuck. Go up to Philly if it happens. Yeah, he's like going up. I'm like, fuck no. I don't feel like driving.
Get his car flipped, man.
It's not even that. It's not even that. It's like a fucking 8-hour, 10-hour drive for me.
That's true. It is a long drive. But nowhere to park. The streets will be covered in ash and rubble.
No, the fucking sucks is DC traffic. Fuck that shit. Fuck DC.
I go around that. But anyway, that has been.
That's why you gotta live in the middle of nowhere in Wisconsin. You don't gotta worry about traffic.
Yeah. But that has been the Football Stooges Super Bowl prediction. We will be back next week to give you a wrap up and start talking about some of the off-season stuff. Hopefully, Macedon's in a good mood. Maybe not. If you're taking off Monday, we might as well do it Monday. See what happens. Get the initial reaction off Macedon.
And MLB's gonna start soon.
No, I can't watch baseball. I'd rather watch golf.
I don't know what I would do if either one was on. Anyway, we hope you enjoy the Super Bowl, one of America's great pastimes and holidays. Enjoy it, have fun, enjoy the commercials, the halftime show, and all the festivities in the game. Fly, Eagles, fly from all three of us. We wish the best to everyone, and run the damn football. Good night.